Hey guys, so I'm about to do a reaction video to The Flash, Season 6, Episode 18, Pay the Piper. So last week's episode was probably one of the few redeeming things, the most cathartic things about this whole mirror story arc with, Iris being trapped in the mirror, an imposter taking her place, taking over her life. For the record, this is not my coffee has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Allergy season is allergy season, pandemic or no pandemic. So relax. Um, yeah, after Barry getting kicked out of the loft at the end of 616, he finally had an epiphany and started to connect the dots and realized like, oh, this is not my wife. I'm living with an imposter for weeks, and thank God, because oh God, like if you watch my last video, I basically provided evidence at the end of my last video as to why this storyline Barry should not have been fooled for as long as he has. I think a lot of fans share the fact that between the evidence I provided, Cecile not sensing quote unquote Iris was off during Wally's welcome home party, and the fact that Barry and Iris grew up together. They've known each other since they were 10. They've known each other for 20 years. Inherently made it next to impossible for fans to suspend or at least a lot of fans, to suspend their disbelief that Barry should have been fooled for as long as he has. Regardless of the fact that Barry was distracted with other things, and Mirror Iris had enough of the real Iris's memories and know what to say all the right things to Barry, at least some of the time. But anyway, he finally figured it out. He took a brutal beating from Mirror Iris, and even though I wish this kind of happened earlier, it was clear that, like as Barry pointed out, Mirror Iris was made from the real deal, and she had enough of her. He had like a part of Iris's heart was in the Mirror Iris, or some people like to call her Siri. She was developing some sentience. Even when she confronted Bloodwork and was trying to use her blood to help Ava get out of the mirror, she wasn't a blind follower to Ava like the mirror clones of Singh and Camilla. I mean, she was concerned about Ava driving the mirror Camilla to sacrifice herself to get Bloodwork out of his prison, and then he attacked both Mirror Singh, Mirror Iris. And I feel like it was a testament to the character, how strong and like a great character Iris is. That just a part of herself, part of her heart was in Mirror Iris. And between that and the scene where even though they couldn't hear one another, they were trying to communicate to one another through the mirrors, even after Ava escaped. It was a testament to both scenes were a testament to a fact that, okay, maybe this storyline isn't completely shit on the concept that of West Allen being the gold standard. And I feel like it was tragic but a suitable send off to the Mirror Iris, wanting to not blindly follow Eva, just wanting to make her own decision and develop some independence. And naturally, Ava, being the low-key narcissist, controlling narcissist that she is, used her powers to destroy the Mirror Iris before escaping from the Mirrorverse. And I guess with Bloodworks, with Russo's blood, that she can go in and out of the Mirrorverse without in and out of the Mirrorverse now, like Sam Scudder did after a while. But there was still some of Russo's blood left in the vial that I hope that plays a key role in, either stopping Ava or at least getting Iris, Camilla, and Singh out of the Mirrorverse. And to the point where it's I like this episode so much to the point where it's like, one, I think it's criminal that neither Grant Gustin or Candace Patton don't have like a trophy case of Emmy Awards at this point. But the fact that I wanted to focus on this is a lot more and focus less on I don't want a filler episode that focuses on Pied Piper or Godspeed, because they ruined Godspeed. I mean, I get they take liberties with like speedster villains, but they should have taken the same approach they did with Thawne. That they changed next to nothing about the character and his origins, and they would have gotten more mileage out of that and more story out of him that way. And maybe because of Pied Piper's gauntlets, having vibrational frequencies, maybe that'll play a factor in trying to get Iris to come back out in the Mirrorverse. We'll see, but either way, I'm just gonna go into this episode and see what kind of traction this makes with all. No.
Wally warned me that something was off with Iris, and then Sunshine attacked Frost. I noticed that she was being weird with you, cold even.
Keep the face, Cisco. She won't end up like.
I understand how you're feeling.
Cecile, I know you're trying
Gypsy.
to help me.
Always be with you.
Seriously, Eric Wallace and the Reg are freaking sadists for doing this. Jesus Christ, we're not the poor site. Man. Why did he show up now? What the hell?
You're the one that stopped the others. I am not impressed.
The pipeline, quick!
This isn't over.
Damn!
Hardly. Not in this timeline.
What?
Pied Piper's band of merry men tried to flank you while you were distracted playing musical cards. Yeah, you clocked them, but when one of them tried to shoot at you, you countered with a lightning bolt. That lightning collided with the weapon's blast, and... turns out that was Hartley's right-hand man, Roderick Smith.
Really? That's what he's pissed
Sorry, guys.
about?
I gotta check on this.
Roderick Smith.
His henchmen. Not many villains do that.
Camilla? Wait, what are you doing? It's me, Iris. You're the one who sent me here. No, whoever she was, that was not me, I swear.
Then tell me something only the real Iris would know.
Cisco is the love of your life. And you knew it from the moment you met him. When you were bartending at the Liquid Kitty. He is the most brilliant man that you know. And he always makes you laugh. You are the only person allowed to wear his Chewbacca t-shirt. The one that his parents gave him when he was 14 years old.
It's you.
Okay.
Thank God. After you items that the mirror gun sent here, I've been analyzing them for clues, but the data keeps getting all wonky when I try to see the screen. Hey, you okay?
No, I'm not. But you are. The neural dissonance hasn't affected you yet. It's this condition that affects our minds in this mirrorverse.
That explains the screens. When I look at them too long, I get a headache.
Yeah, that's how it started for me. Too, with Eva's computers, everything was broken and fractured, but now I can read them.
You can help us get out of here.
I can't. Truth hurts. Truth hurts. We shouldn't be here. We should not be here. I should not be here.
Iris. Jesus.
Not much has changed. I'm making this so that I can save the person I love the most. But I wouldn't expect you to understand that, Riley. The person you love the most is yourself. Come find me when you're ready to work.
Burn!
Cecile just got Roger back from Mercury Labs.
No, wait. Stop.
No.
Wells, enough.
What's happening?
Stop! You're hurting him! Nash.
Jesus.
Riley, I'm sorry, but we can try.
I was stupid for trusting you. Don't ask me for anything, ever. My world is over. Did I hope yours burns?
But they're not here. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? It's mine, all right?
Damn.
Is that what you want me to say?
He's right about Iris.
I'm supposed to lead this team. Now,
He is a damn brilliant engineer who has never backed down from doing the impossible before.
Yes! Thank you!
You gonna start now?
no, ma'am.
God bless you, Cecile. God bless you. What the hell? Oh, no, Iris.
You okay?
Jesus.
I let Eva manipulate me all this time, and now the neural dissonance is getting worse. How did I let that happen? My skill as a reporter is being able to see the truth, but Eva proved to me that I can't trust my instincts or myself.
You weren't the only one she tricked. Your duplicate tricked me, everyone, even Barry. Don't beat yourself up for not being perfect. Of course, Eva would want you to see your strength as a weakness. That's how she's kept you trapped. But if you want to escape, you have to trust yourself again. I do. So, where do we start?
It is my responsibility. I have to face it. I have to try.
Super dude.
Someone dies. Someone dies.
Come on, Hartley.
I have to try.
Oh. Wow.
He's running at Mach 5. He's moving faster than you. Then I know this city better than him.
He's from the future. He knows what the city's like. What do you mean? Oh, hell. Oh. Okay, I like this parallel. What are you, Barry? No! No! Yeah, Harley!
I didn't think you were coming. I didn't save you so we could chat.
Is it a supersonic point? Oh, so it's lightning? Oh, so dope. So dope. Oh, no! Nice! Oh!
They cross streams.
Oh,
You have to do more than just forgive yourself. You have to believe that your world can change. That's the part I'd forgotten. Thanks for reminding me.
There's gotta be a way you can help. Damn. Well, am I looking? Wait, what? What's she doing in there? What's going on?
I'm coming for you, Joseph.
So yeah, that was it's a pretty good episode. It's better than I thought. I can understand why Hartley post-crisis had a grudge against Team Flash post, this new timeline because, well, he gathered a huge number of henchmen this time, and one of them was his boyfriend who the Flash destabilized, put in a coma, not in a coma, but destabilized his body. Even Hartley started to blame himself for putting his boyfriend in such in such a situation, and so it's understandable, and they try to reconcile the fact. I was hoping Hartley would play a role in you. I guess he did play. Well, I guess Cisco's did say he did play a role in helping them trying to get Iris and company out of the Mirrorverse. Finally, Camilla and Iris interacted, and hopefully Sing will show. They'll find Sing in the next episode, and I mean Grant Gustin. I mean, like I said, Candace Patton confirmed in her TV Line interview that this mirror, getting Iris and company out of the Mirrorverse wasn't going to be resolved until next season as a result of production prematurely shutting down as a result of the coronavirus outbreak. I don't know. The only hope I have at this point is that maybe, I guess like Allegra and Nash find some reconciliation, or at least start the first steps to reconciliation next episode. I mean, asking for too much. Like I said, they're making some progress trying to get them out of there, and like I said, it is. I mean, it was comic book accurate for a version of Godspeed to siphon the speed of other speedsters, because that's how he started off in the comics and becoming a threat. But I still feel like, okay, they did something comic book accurate. Yes. Did I wish that they focused on the idea of him making him focus on the aspect of the character that was kind of pretty much a speedster version of the Punisher, and trying to avenge a loved one whose killer escaped justice by law, and the parallels between Barry and playing judge and jury. Like, I feel like they should have focused on that more, as opposed to the whole like siphoning speed from others for his own personal gain a little more. Like I said before in this video, this character, like I said, like, I'm still not completely happy with what they did with Godspeed. I feel like the writers were idiots, and they could have gotten so much more mileage out of this character if they made a more comic book faithful adaptation of this character, like they did with. They should have taken the same approach like they did with Thawne, whereas like, let's change little to nothing about this character and get a lot of mileage out of him. Which is why I'll never understand, like, I keep reading these interviews where, like, Eric Wallace keeps professing that he's, like, a Flash fan. He's been a Flash fan, like, growing up, watching the 90s version of The Flash, reading the comic books. He was eventually brought on board in season 4 before he got promoted to an executive producer position that he's in now. So it's like, I feel like, why is he taking such these, like, misguided approaches to Godspeed and the Mirror storyline, and the story where they're putting through Iris is like, let's put her through the most hellish thing she's been through today, just like, Barry being confronted with his mortality and the idea that he has to sacrifice himself in Crisis. I feel like it was so short-sighted, and it's like this entire Mirror storyline just brought up the fact that, like, brought up a lot of issues that fans have had with the series. It's another storyline where Iris West is getting less. We're seeing is getting less screen active intrepid reporter that people know and love, than was promised, and Barry being an idiot for being a slow, gullible idiot for the sake of the plot. Ava, having a villain whose goals and motivations aren't fully spelled out, and is going at a snail's pace to spell this out, just like DeVoe, which is why I don't think Ava is a boring. Neither DeVoe or Ava are boring villains necessarily, but I can understand why there are people who think that DeVoe and Ava are among the most boring villains in this entire series. And yet, it's like I'll never understand. It's like, this show has been on for 6 seasons now, and this is the problem. This is why I love the Bloodwork arc, and why I think most people love the Bloodwork arc more than what's going on here, is that all of these issues were non-existent. We got to see Barry using his head. He was privy to the big bad's motives. He wasn't being, like, conned or easily manipulated in the long term. Like Killer Frost and Barry were suspicious of Ramsey from the get go. You had Iris, like building her staff and being an active reporter, and doing her own stuff outside of helping Team Flash solve crimes. You had a villain in Ramsey Russo who was intimidating. His goals were clear. His motives, his goals, his plights, what drove him to villainy were clear. They were understandable. They were laid out on the table, and he was menacing, intimidating, and frightening. He was like I don't think I'm wrong. Like I feel like he was like he's like the most menacing villain, most menacing big bad this series has had since Zoom. Ava leaves a lot to be desired because we haven't seen much from her besides kidnapping people and trapping her in the Mirrorverse. And I'm gonna say I'm a Iris West fan. I'm a Candace Patton fan. The reason why this whole designated damsel in distress arc for Iris this season has not pissed me off as much as the designated damsel in distress arc did for season 3 for Iris. And why is because at least with Candace Patton, it gets to stretch her acting muscles and play like an evil version of her. And I see the performances given by Grant and Candace as both an evil and mirror version of Iris have been the only redeeming, and 617 in its entirety has been the only redeeming things about the entire mirror story arc. And I still see a post from somebody on Instagram, I forget who, but they did. I think it was Flash Secret Files. They said that 617, The Last Temptation of Barry Allen, Part 1, was the best episode for Barry / Grant, and 617 was the best episode for Candace and Iris in terms of being able to stretch their acting, giving the best performances they had to date, and like I said, they deserve Golden Globes, Emmy Awards at this point, and it's sad that their people turn their those people in charge of that turn their nose up to shows like this. But it is what it is. At least they got Saturn Awards, so that counts for something. And I don't know what else to say. I just feels like I hope both Candace and Grant have said in TV Line and Entertainment Tonight interviews respectively that because the coronavirus outbreak has subsequently led to the shutdown of production prematurely, then a lot of things are not going to get resolved. Again, I hope at least Iris and Company and the Mirrorverse, at least hopefully maybe National Legwear has some kind of reconciliation, or at least some type of reconciliation. I don't know. It's just this season had the potential to be the best season of the show thus far, especially after watching the Bloodwork arc. But again, the writers, Eric Wallace, the writers got misguided and lazy and squandered the potential of the back half of the season. Quite frankly, that's how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? Your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you feel about this episode? If you like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon.